A little empty here. Very empty. Alright guys, I am now going to go into the process of setting the races in. I had mentioned in my previous video that I was going to essentially shave the outside of these races to fit in for checking, because the guy in the video, his application was essentially his race went into its seat, and behind the race was actually where the shims go, which would push his pinion up or down. So he had to take his race out and clearance it as a checker, because he wasn't going to keep doing the same thing, like punching it in and punching it back out if the shims were wrong. But my application, my shim goes between the pinion and the bearing, so I don't have to do what he did. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over to the new set, the rebuild kit, and I'm going to dig out the race for it. We're going to do the back end front pinion race. I'm going to dig out my essentially it's a seal drive, a race drive. I'm going to dig that out of the box there, and we're going to get all set up, and I'm going to try to drive these things home. All right, I will see you fellas in a bit. All right, I'm going to try to pop this race in. Just make sure everything's cleaned, dried, no contaminants or anything that's in the bottom of this machined surface where this race goes down in. So this race driver that I have is see that sound, the pitch, that bottomed out. So that's bottomed out. And it is. Alright, so we got this race back in. We're going to flip this thing around. I'm probably going to have to put some jack stands over both sides of it, because now it's only that little surface area that's going to be upended, and it wants to wobble. So I'm going to put some supplementary jack stands. Supplementary. And we're going to flip it around. I'm going to try to drive the big race in now. So all I'm using is just Harbor Freight race and seal driver. It's aluminum, so don't have to worry about it marring that steel. That's a hardened case steel anyways, and I learned that the hard way. And so we got one done, and we're gonna work on the next one. So I'll be back in a little bit, guys. All right, I'm gonna try to set the big race in now. As you can see, the insides of that housing is all cleaned out. I spent most of the morning degreasing it, getting all. I totally douched this thing down quite a bit. I used degreaser, blew it out, soap and water, rinsed it out, washed it again, washed it a couple of times, and no matter what, you still get schmegma in there. So we're gonna try to seat this one now in that little seat. But my only problem is getting a good whack on this, being so far down into the housing. This might prove problematic to me, so I might have to be a little MacGyver-esque. We'll see. So we'll see. Alright, this is going to be tricky. Tricky. Just want to get it started. It's going a little crook. So I'm going to try to take my aluminum drift and try to get it to come down a little bit. It's a tough bugger. Still a little crooked, but it's starting to right. Almost. The other one in nicely. This is a big bastard, that's why. Pain in the ass. Going. Ow! Watch your hands. I watched mine as the hammer hit it. This bug is a long way down. Going slow. I don't want to. I mean, went in crooked already, so I don't want to fuck this up. There we go. Who's your daddy? What does he do? We're just about there. Ow! Ow, 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 ow. Ow. No pain, no gain. You hear the sound? That's the sound. That's the sound we're looking for. Alright guys. Like a glove. Like a glove. Fit just like OJ's gloves. Alright guys, we're back. We're going to check now our pinion depth. Like I say, the race has been driven in. We have our checker bearing. Going to go over the pinion. It's sitting nice and tight against the shoulder. I always want to say shoulder. Okay, we have a block here that's been machined. It's true and straight. It's 1.5 thousandths tall, a little over an inch. But this is the measure that we want, is this 1.157, which is the thickness of this block. We're going to lay it down across the machine surface where the caps bolt onto the housing. So the bottom of that block now is considered center line. So what we have to do is we have to measure from the pinion to the top of the block and then subtract that 0.157. That will give us our baseline to go by. So right now we've done this. Joe's going to check it. We have everything here. Just doing this for the sake of the video. What you got? 2.782 is what he has. So now I got to subtract that thickness, which is we got it right on us. So I have to take out the thickness of this block, which is 0.157. Then you come out with a distance now. This is a true distance, a hard measure, 2.625. That's the distance that we have now from the pinion to the center line of that where the carrier sits. So the factory, on the face of the pinion, they've called out, they want their center line measure to be 2.592. So we're at 2.625. So I put the 2.592 and subtract that, and it's telling me that I'm now 33 thousandths low. So the shim packets that they gave us, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start now. I'm not too, the the calipers that I'm using are Harbor Freight, and they're kind of suspect because we were getting readings all over the place. Then we started to get more consistent readings. So I'm going to go with a 35,000 shim, and we're going to put that in. We're going to check it. So we had them all mic'd. So they're all mic'd and labeled. There's a 20 and there's a 15, so that's 35 thousandths. Set it back down. He's going to set the block again. Now this might change. This might change. As soon as we put everything back together and I check my gear pattern, I might have to add a shim. I might have to subtract a shim. But this is just going to get us in the ballpark. So I'm not trying to, you know, it takes a lot of the guesswork out by them doing that on the face of the pinion. And what do you have? Yeah, we get 2.744. Okay, so I take that 2.744 and I subtract my 2.592, and I'm getting 2.598, and we're going to call that close enough for government work. So it was a 35,000 shim. It's got us in the ballpark, and so now I know what my pinion depth is. I know where to stop from. We're going to now put the ring on it. I still need some stuff. I got to get the actual pinion yoke. I got to get that. This one didn't come with one. And I got to get the actual washer. I have the nut. I need the washer though for the back side. And then we're going to set a preload on this. I got to get some marking compound, and we're going to check and see how it looks in the ring. And if I have to adjust it further in or further out, at least I'm really, really close right now. So that's it for this video. That's pretty much starting to get the pinion depth set, so we know how to proceed, and took a lot of the guesswork out. It's good that they actually give you the parameters right on the face of the pinion. So whoever ground these gears, he's saying that depth from center line is ideal where you want to be, and we are very, very, very close. And once again, I might have to take a shim out or put one in. It all depends on how that gear looks when I mark it and see how it sits, you know, because there's a little to that too, because you got the drive,
well, you got
coast,
left and right also, yeah.
And then you got right and left in the carriage. You might have to put shims on one side or the other, and it's a little involved. So that's it for this little video. Like I said, this is all in etch and primer now. Everything's cleaned up, ready to go, and got a couple more things and we're done. Not done, but we'll stop putting this thing back together. So Mark from the second gen, Joe from the chicken farm, and Tony. We just found him somewhere. Yeah. He just follows us along. He's not homeless. He's got a home. Be well, be safe, and see you on the next one, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.